I feel like pro wrestling fans believe these two particular statements. All good things must come to an end, and nothing lasts forever. This is a business of constant change, and this is a business that is predicated on what the fans truly want. And WWE, AEW must listen to the fans if they want to sustain a successful business creatively moving forward. I understand that people like Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes, they may be popular now, and over time fans do get bored and tired of their act. And I do understand why some of these talents feel like there may be a need for change. If you are Cody Rhodes, I don't know why you're going out there at Fanatics Fest telling everybody across the world that your babyface run is nearing the end of its life cycle. Yes, Cody Rhodes is absolutely teasing a heel turn and a heel run, and we'll go over exactly what he said at Fanatics Fest right here on Off the Script. Hulk Hogan's opening up a new bar across the street here in New York City from Madison Square Garden, a $7 million venture. This is going to be a very bad idea for Mr. Hulk Hogan. AEW is planning a return to a very iconic New York City venue. Liv Morgan. We know about Liv Morgan's plans. What were the plans if Liv Morgan was not injured on Monday Night Raw against Kairi Sane 1 week ago? And where is Pat McAfee? He wasn't on Monday Night Raw 2 weeks in a row now, and we got the return of Corey Graves. I got the latest on Pat McAfee and everything else today, right here on Off the Script. It is your Wednesday, June 25th, 2025. We'll start with Pat McAfee. I'm a fan of Pat McAfee. I think Pat McAfee not only is an organic presence on WWE TV, he is very much himself on WWE TV. I think that resonates through the TV screen. He's also an inspiration and an influence, because a lot of what we do, we eventually want to get to that point with that style of production and that huge audience. But Pat McAfee's been a staple on Monday Night Raw for a few years now, and he has gone away at the start of the college football season, and I think a lot of people are anticipating that happening again this year. But he's been noticeably absent for the last 2 weeks on WWE television, where we saw the return of my personal favorite, Corey Graves, sitting next to Michael Cole on commentary. Pat McAfee has revealed the reason for his 3-week absence from the Monday Night Raw commentary desk. During the Pat McAfee show this week, he explained that he simply needed a break to recharge his batteries. McAfee's been missing from Raw since the June 9th episode. His spot was filled by Wade Barrett, and for the past 2 weeks, Corey Graves. McAfee explained that the grind has been wearing on him. He says, and I quote, "Continuing to just kind of catch up on life as a whole. Post Money in the Bank, pre-Night of Champions was getting pretty exhausting there. So shout out to everybody at WWE for looking out for me. Very, very thankful." Although McAfee was not on this week's broadcast, his broadcast partner, Michael Cole, did mention his name during the show during the opening match. McAfee's last major physical involvement on WWE program, if you guys remember, was at Backlash, where he faced Gunther in a losing effort after the then World Heavyweight Champion, or I should say, yes, the then World Heavyweight Champion, Intercontinental Champion as well, had attacked him and Cole following his loss to Yeet Man at WrestleMania 41. I don't mind Pat McAfee on the commentary desk. I know some people just can't stand his style or his sense of humor. I much rather prefer Corey Graves. I think the show feels like a WWE show with Graves there. I think the show feels like Monday Night Raw when Corey Graves is there. That's the OG team of this generation, and I feel like Pat McAfee kind of threw a wrench into the overall feel of WWE. McAfee is very good at what he does on his own platform. Is he a great color commentator? I mean, that's a subjective thing. But he brings the notoriety, he brings the audience, he brings the energy, and he's friends with Nick Khan and WWE Brass. So, of course, he's going to get the nod over somebody like Corey Graves. But Corey Graves is back, and he will be back. And it seems like WWE with their original problem from months ago with Corey Graves, where he went on social media and really voiced his concerns about being replaced during the busiest time of the year for Pat McAfee, where they basically demoted him to NXT and everybody thought they were going to keep him down there. It seems like he's getting back into the good graces of WWE, and he's going to settle right back into that role when Pat McAfee goes and does College Game Day on ESPN. You don't want to burn out Wade Barrett and use him on Monday and Friday. Corey Graves should get that spot. Corey Graves is probably the best color commentator that I would say not only the WWE has, but the industry has right now. I think he's got a great style. He's got a great look. He's very charismatic. He's very knowledgeable. He could do the play-by-play, and you can fill him in on that role. He did a great job at AAA. Got the Mexican promotions mixed up. AAA, where they did Worlds Collide, and he did a great job just navigating those murky waters there, and WWE took notice of that and are starting to get him back integrated into the show. So Pat McAfee is just out because the grind, he's running away from the grind a little too much, is Pat McAfee. So he'll be back, and then when September rolls around, we'll see Corey Graves fill right into that role. Quick update on Liv Morgan. We've talked about this extensively across all the shows. Talked about it on the Raw post show. We talked about it on TNT last night with the Solid Monster episode 100. If you guys missed that, go and check that out. An additional report on Liv Morgan, where her injury has caused several WWE storylines to be scrapped. Now, according to the new report, Morgan was a centralized figure in multiple programs. She was scheduled actually to face Io Sky for the Women's World Championship at Night of Champions this coming Saturday. Obviously, that's not happening, and I don't even think Io is going to get a match at Night of Champions. Morgan was slated to face Nikki Bella, supposedly one-on-one, at Evolution. The other rumor was that Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez would defend the tag team championships against Nikki Bella and her sister Brie Bella in a reunion of the Bella twins. That would have been either a singles match, like I said, or a tag team match for the WWE Tag Team Championships. Further storyline developments within the Judgment Day were set to lead to a mixed tag team match, per the report. It would have seen Morgan and Dominic Mysterio facing Roxanne Perez and Finn Balor at potentially SummerSlam. So that would indicate that the Judgment Day storyline would see a split of Liv Morgan and Dominic from the group, and Finn Balor remains on as leader, and he takes on Roxanne Perez as his new Liv Morgan. Those plans clearly are not happening right now, and I know a lot of people are upset about this, but I do think, and I'm sticking with my guns on this, when Liv Morgan comes back from this injury, which is reportedly going to be 6 months, I do think that she's going to be bigger than she ever has been. And I do think that this is going to be a blessing in disguise like it was for Rhea and Liv in that program. It is going to be a blessing in disguise not only for Liv Morgan, but for Dominic and Roxanne Perez. I do think that the report saying that her injury has had ripple effects is going to have ripple effects in a positive way for everybody involved here when she comes back. And you all already may be looking at, it's not too early to start the discussion, you may already be looking at a very early favorite for the Women's Royal Rumble. And all those Liv Morgan fans out there, you might get your wish. Liv Morgan could realistically get a crowning moment in Las Vegas at WrestleMania 42 next year for the World Heavyweight Championship. I would not doubt that at all. And it could be against Roxanne Perez. I think that's the direction to go. And this is going to really test WWE Creative on how good they are. They had plans. Everything that I just mentioned is now out the window. How are they going to navigate these waters now with Liv Morgan out? And how are they going to make this storyline even better without her on television week by week? So it's going to be interesting to see play out. And I'm excited to see what Liv does when she comes back and how this is going to affect Roxanne Perez, who is on her way to being one of the biggest names in the women's division. Drew McIntyre. We got an update on Drew. I love Drew. I miss Drew. I think WWE is better with Drew McIntyre on television. This is coming from WrestleVotes. There are currently no imminent plans for Drew McIntyre to return to WWE programming as he's still recovering from injuries. McIntyre's been out of action for several months, and while there have been speculations going around on social media about when he might be making his comeback, I know a lot of people are still on this thing that he would fit like a glove in Seth Rollins' new faction. I think that works out pretty well as well. He's not going to be on television imminently, and it does not appear it's happening anytime soon. WrestleVotes is reporting nothing in the pipeline recently, which tells me it's not imminent. But when he's ready, if I'm booking, I'm putting him at the top. I think the guy deserves it. As of this writing, there's no official timeline for McIntyre's return to the ring, and McIntyre has also not publicly spoken about his absence from WWE television. McIntyre last year was in the best feud that professional wrestling saw all year with CM Punk, which resulted in one of the best matches, if not the best match of 2024, inside Hell in a Cell with CM Punk. That match took a huge toll on Drew McIntyre, and it's easy to see why. That chair spot still lives in my brain. Ridiculous. And I know he went on and did the Royal Rumble, and he did, what he needed to do with Drew, with Damian Priest, and there was a little thing with LA Knight. He didn't get integrated into anything important on WWE television, and he figures now, if you got nothing for me right now, if I'm going to be this stagnant on television, I'm just going to go get my injuries taken care of. Instead of battling through it to keep my spot on WWE television, I'm just going to go away for a little bit and get this shit situated. I do think, like WrestleVotes said, when he comes back, that is the type of guy you need at the top of the card, especially if Cody is going to win a WWE championship again for a second time. I think Drew McIntyre being a foil to Cody Rhodes babyface would be a fantastic story to tell. And they've already teased that in the past as well. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing that play out when he does get back to television, because Cody's going to need some top tier opponents. I would love to see him move back to Monday Night Raw and get integrated again with CM Punk and maybe fit into that Rollins group, depending on when he comes back. I think he would fit like a glove there, because his mission statement is basically just like Seth Rollins. And they did have some paths cross with both of them several months ago, and that was around the end of the year last year. I don't know why they moved away from that. Their vision was the same, Roman Reigns. I do think that McIntyre and Roman Reigns is also a natural progression that they seemingly dropped out of nowhere that I thought was going to lead to his WrestleMania match, because that is what he wanted to do. He wanted to go eradicate one by one members of the bloodline because they did him dirty for years, and that's what he wanted to do, and alongside Rollins. So I would love to see a mixture of things with Drew McIntyre. He could fit seamlessly into a bunch of different things, but WWE this year they didn't have any plans for him, and they gave him Damian Priest. Not that it was bad, I just feel like it's beneath Drew McIntyre, and I do think that Drew McIntyre, when back and healthy, should obviously be considered for a WWE Championship run. He's more than earned it, and he more than deserves it. AEW, they are planning to return to the Hammerstein Ballroom this winter in New York City. This is also according to WrestleVotes. The company's planning to run shows from the Hammerstein Ballroom at the Manhattan Center in New York City this December. This would be a repeat of their successful run of holiday season shows at the venue last Christmas in 2024, which included special episodes of Dynamite, Collision, and Rampage. That won't be happening with Rampage this year because it is no longer a show. Speaking during a Q&A, WrestleVotes reported that the plan is for AEW to return for another block of television tapings this December. I can give you breaking news here. I've learned through sources that they're going to return to the Manhattan Center, the Hammerstein Ballroom, once again this December, like they did last year, to rave reviews. So New York City around the holidays, AEW will be back in the Hammerstein Ballroom for a few episodes of their TV. Now, last year's shows at the Hammerstein Ballroom, they were considered a success. They sold, I would say, 1,200 tickets they sold to the Hammerstein Ballroom for both Dynamite and Collision. The atmosphere was very nice. It was very energetic. And Tony Khan has stated once before that he's open to holding future events inside the Hammerstein Ballroom. That's great. AEW is holding these residencies. They're doing one in Chicago. They did one in, I think, the Dallas area as well. I think they're doing something like that going into All In. Now they're going to be doing a little mini residency here. I think they're doing one in Philadelphia as well this Labor Day. And now they're doing this for a string of shows for a week in New York City. You could look at that as a good thing, because it's easy for them to sell those venues out like Hammerstein Ballroom. You could look at that as a bad thing, because if AEW is just holding up in one location, you know, I do think that people could look at that as a negative, that they don't want to take the show on the road because they have struggle selling out venues across, or ballrooms or music halls across the United States, and they would rather hole up in something like this or something in Philadelphia where they know the people will show up, and those are big pro wrestling cities. You could look at that as a good thing. You could look at it as a bad thing. And again, another bad aspect of this is you don't want to run, you know, the same venue all week and then create burnout. I don't think that's going to happen here, because I do think that this is small enough and it's just 1 week that you're not going to do that. If you make the shows feel special, load it up with big storylines and some big matches, people will come out. And I thought that last year was some pretty decent shows, especially during the Continental Classic. We had some great matches on TV with Will Ospreay and Ricochet. I remember watching that on Saturday Night Collision going into World's End. So I like this. Hammerstein Ballroom, can't hate it. One of my favorite venues ever. And AEW is moving back there this December. Going to be a string of shows for Dynamite and Collision holiday season 25. Speaking of New York, Hulk Hogan. He is confirming a new $7 million venture opposite the iconic Madison Square Garden. Now, Hulk Hogan is opening up a massive new sports bar directly across Madison Square Garden, an arena many consider his spiritual home. According to a report from Page 6, Hogan confirmed on his Instagram that the bar will be 9,000 square feet, $7 million project named Slam. The bar will be filled with Hulk Hogan memorabilia and feature screens playing some of his iconic moments. It will also boast a wall of windows facing Madison Square Garden. The location is currently owned by New York nightlife veteran Rich Rosen, who pitched the idea directly to Hogan. He says, "I basically waited 5 hours online to get 2 seconds with Hulk Hogan," Rosen told Page 6. "I came with an 8x10 glossy picture of Madison Square Garden, and in the picture is our storefront. I walked up to Hulk. I dropped the picture in front of him. The pitch worked, as Hogan called Rosen 4 days later to confirm his interest. The 3-floor establishment will include a rooftop bar, which is planned to open in the fall. It will feature Hulk Hogan's Real American Beer brand, although Rosen noted that Hogan will not have a direct ownership stake in the project." So this is basically a $7 million vanity project where Hulk Hogan, honestly, is living in a fantasy realm where he thinks people still care about him in 2025 the way that they cared about him in 1985. This will fail. I'm telling you right now, this will fail. I am a big bar connoisseur, cocktail bar connoisseur. I may visit it once, get the vibe of it, and probably never go back. If you're a Hulk Hogan fucking diehard and you have shrines built in your home dedicated to Terry Bollea, you may find yourself at this place nightly or weekly. Me, I'll visit it once and never go back again because I'm just not that type of Hulk Hogan fan. You may very well be. This may be right up your alley, and that's okay. But I think that this will fail. I think Hulk Hogan's living in a reality realm where he thinks he's just as popular today as he was back then. I don't think that getting into a $7 million venture with a fucking mogul in the New York City nightlife scene is going to rehabilitate your fucking image. People already think one thing of you, and you are not going to change people's perceptions because you try to act like them and try to be cool by opening up a new fucking sports bar, welcoming everybody from all walks of life. It's not going to work that way. This will fail, and this will end as abruptly as his TNA run did. I think he is fucking tone deaf. I think he's fucking out of his mind. And I honestly think he's living in a fantasy realm, and nobody's going to convince him otherwise. His fucking Real Graps, whatever the fuck it's called, Real American Wrestling, whatever the fuck it's called, struggling already to sell tickets. Nobody wants to be associated with Hulk Hogan in that way. Nobody. They may think that they do, but at the end, people will surely realize that Hulk Hogan's value, it's not as what they think it is. And finally, Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes says his WWE babyface run is coming to an end. We are on the last legs of his babyface run, and that a heel turn is coming soon. Why he would outwardly admit this to the general public, I don't know. Maybe The Rock did convince him to sell his soul. Cody Rhodes has been the ultimate babyface for WWE since coming back in 2022, but he knows all good things must come to an end one day. Speaking at Fanatics Fest, Rhodes acknowledged that he can only be the top babyface for so long before fans get sick of the same thing. He says, and I quote, "I do think that we're probably at the tail end of it because there's only so much someone can like you. I'd like to do it until the end of my career, to be honest with you. But at some point, it's like, all right, all we do is cheer for him. Eventually, fans want to see someone else." Rhodes didn't have an exact date, nor would he, because plans always change in the world of professional wrestling. He doesn't have an exact date for when he'll stop being a babyface, and fans shouldn't expect a heel turn just yet. While such a turn is seemingly inevitable, Rhodes' babyface run won't end without a fight. I think you've got a good, solid year, maybe even 3 years, because I'm not changing until I am changed. Rhodes claimed that if The Rock had it his way, I would have already been changed, acknowledging claims that The Rock pushed for him to turn heel instead of John Cena, and it would have been Cody going into WrestleMania as the heel, as he would have sold his soul. Triple H denied that and said that was an awful idea, and everybody in Cody's camp told The Rock that would have been an awful idea, not the right time for it. Rock basically confirming he's fucking tone deaf. Though fans have time yet to love and cherish Cody Rhodes, a darker side and the blonde going away for the black hair continues to bubble away within, says the report, in Cody Rhodes. It's not going to happen. I don't even think it's going to happen within a year, honestly. I think when Cody's current contract comes to an end, whatever he signed last, we're going to see him ride that out as a babyface. And I do think that his last contract with WWE, he's going to venture into the babyface. He's going to venture from babyface to heel. This current run that we're in right now, this current contract season for Cody Rhodes, we're not going to see him be a heel. He's got way too much to do left as a babyface. Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, like I just mentioned. We got John Cena on the horizon at SummerSlam. He's got to win the championship back first. There's a lot of different aspects to WWE television still uncharted for Cody Rhodes. I'd love to see, if Punk is still there, I'd love to see Cody Rhodes and CM Punk with that dynamic flipped. Cody being the heel and Punk being the babyface. I think that would be fucking fantastic. I'd even go for another Cody and Roman match if they want to venture down that way. Roman being the babyface and Cody being the heel. Maybe they do that when the time calls for it. I don't think The Rock is actively going to be involved if that is going to be the plan. I think everybody should really just get it out of their system. Booking The Rock in a storyline where it's going to be Cody selling his soul because The Rock has made insinuations that they will eventually go back to that. I'm over it. I am so over it. I want nothing to do with that man on WWE television because of what he did to us at WrestleMania this year by not showing up. You didn't show up, I don't want you back on television because you just basically told us without doing anything what you think of us, the fans, Cody, and WrestleMania and the WWE, all because you didn't get your way. So fuck Dwayne. But Cody being a heel, it's not going to happen anytime soon. I think he was just playing with the reporter at Fanatics Fest. I do think that Cody, he loves to throw a little Easter egg out there. He loves to kind of play with the fans a little bit and give you a very minuscule glimpse into what he's thinking. And I do believe that it will eventually happen and we will see Cody turn heel because that's going to be best for business. You can't remain babyface for the duration of your career until the day you retire. I do think that he's going to follow the John Cena blueprint because he is this generation's or this era's John Cena. And I do think that he's going to follow that specifically the way John Cena is doing it right now. I do think that at the end of his contract run with WWE before he retires, Cody 100% is going to turn into a heel. Thank you guys very much for all of your support. If you did enjoy this week's content, we got some great content out there this week. Monday Night Raw, we were hot. Tuesday Night Titans celebrate episode 100. Go check that out, man. What a discussion. Some great laughs, some great discussion. The vibe was great. We had fucking Phil Collins in the air tonight for the opening theme, man. It was a tremendous celebration. You guys showed up so big to support, man. I'm still fucking feeling it today. Thank you guys very much. Tonight, Jesse, Chi-Town Smark, and myself will be live covering Dynamite right here on the channel, so make sure you guys tune into that. If you want to support, please leave a thumbs up, leave a comment down below. Everything you do as far as the likes and comments help us out in the algorithm. You guys want to leave a super thanks, you can do that as well down below. You guys want to hit that subscribe button, I would greatly appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell for all notifications. Go check out the content on the channel and follow me on social media at JDfromNY 206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Thank you guys very much, and I'll see you live tonight here on the channel after Dynamite for the Dynamite post show right here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.